Waiting on a major announcement from President Trump. It will consist of billions of dollars in private sector investment to build artificial intelligence infrastructure here in the United States. And now to a top tech player in all of this. Palantir Technologies co-founder Joe Lonsdale, who helped found the University of Austin and many other tech companies, joins me now. Joe, it's great to talk to you. I think for the first time, I think you're the perfect guest to talk about this. I will confess to you and everyone watching, I'm not an early tech adopter. I don't really understand the full suite of applications for artificial intelligence, and I don't know what this billion-dollar investment will mean for America and AI.
Well, Will, it's been an amazing 24 hours. There's so many things going on right now for America's new golden age, as Trump calls it. Listen, if America is going to solve all of its problems, we need to increase productivity in this country, right? We have all sorts of issues. Trump's been very clear he's not going to cut things like entitlements. Well, what's the answer to that? The answer to that is growth. And what growth is, it's productivity growth. And AI is a key to unlocking productivity growth. If we have that infrastructure here, America is the best in the world in these industries. And he's going to move to accelerate that, which is a great thing.
We're talking about what that infrastructure is with specifics, if we could. If there's a government and private partnership to build the needed infrastructure, I've read a lot about the need for electricity and the need for storage. Is that what we're talking about when we talk about infrastructure?
You know, there's really 5 layers to invest in AI. At the very bottom, before any of those 5 layers, there's energy infrastructure. There's all these things that Trump's already declaring in his EOs we need to focus on as a crisis and have enough energy, have enough of that for America. Above that is the chips production and chips companies. Above that's data centers. Then you get into the software, the model companies like OpenAI and X. Then you get into software infrastructure and then the services themselves. And so, a lot of people at my level were building companies to actually deploy AI. We can only do that if you have all the data centers, all the chips, and all the power available. So there's a lot of infrastructure to build to allow this productivity to work.
You know, Joe, it's notable that at Donald Trump's inauguration, there in the rotunda, behind him were several people, billionaires, who have been skeptical and, in fact, I would say antagonistic in the past to Donald Trump. Mark Zuckerberg, Sundar Pichai from Google, Jeff Bezos. There was also Sam Altman, by the way, from OpenAI. I've listened to you, Joe, on, for example, the Sean Ryan show, talking about how you explain or how you understand the conversion of Mark Zuckerberg into what looks like now a supporter of Donald Trump. How skeptical should we be of all these tech bros now in their embrace of MAGA?
Listen, these people have been living and floating and existing within this woke mind virus infested part of our society. There's some really bad ideas that we are still at war against in our civilization. They have conquered our universities. They've conquered our tech companies. As you were talking about, Will, they've conquered the Episcopalian Church, it seems like, too, with the bishop yesterday, right? So we are at war against this. And I think a lot of these people in those powerful positions, I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. Now, I do think Mark probably does have some biases more on the right that are coming out that are great to see. But would he respond correctly if Trump hadn't won? I don't know. So I think you got to watch all of these people closely. You got to see, are they actually willing to courageously fight these bad ideas the same way Trump has been fighting them, with these hundreds of orders yesterday? And are they going to come on side or not? I don't know. But all of us have to be wary, and we have to keep fighting this battle. This battle is not yet won.
This battle's not yet won, and I've seen you again say that Mark Zuckerberg, for example, maybe is less ideological and more weak, that he gave in to the ideology of the activists within Facebook for many years. While it might not represent him, it did represent his own weakness in not being able to stand up, as so many have, importantly, to this virus. But you've also said this, Joe, and it left me with an open question. You said you thought something broke in 2014. I don't know if that was an exact date that you had pinpointed, but an approximate date that you thought this woke mind virus took over everything, corporate America, tech, in about 2014. What happened that year?
The universities had been conquered earlier, and they became really dominant in these tech companies, and the ideology spread through them, probably through social media, and through them becoming ascendant and starting to put in, some of these cultural norms that kind of spread from there. It became something that all of a sudden you had to be part of to be a good person. It became something where they started to cancel people and prove they could cancel people, right, if you didn't go along. And that had been happening increasingly, but it really spiked those cancellations there. So it was just this power in society that the far left gang to terrify us. And it's actually like waking up from a bad dream now, 11 years later, and seeing all these things turned off. I love the graph that shows the number of genders in our society goes from 2 forever. It spikes up right around then, and then it goes back down now yesterday to 2 with Donald Trump's executive order. I think we are finally turning off a lot of this insanity.
All right, Joe, I want to ask you this about this as well. You know Elon Musk. I think you might even be as well involved at some level with Department of Government Efficiency. You know a lot of the guys, at least, that are involved as well.
Yes.
It's been established now with an executive order. It's already facing resistance. There's already lawsuits. Vivek Ramaswamy has stepped away. He suggests he's going to run for the governor of Ohio. What do you expect? Better yet, what should we expect out of Doge?
You know, the way I think of Doge, and this is not speaking for them, this is speaking as Joe Lonsdale, but the way I see Doge is it's really infused throughout this administration, right? Elon and others were there helping figure out to make sure they hired the right people as secretaries and undersecretaries, to make sure the strategy of the whole thing was tied to Department of Government Efficiency. When you see these executive orders, when you see them freezing any new regulations that are allowed. I was up last night, by the way. I'm sure you were too. You're watching these things. When you see them turning off all this crazy aid, we give like billions and billions of dollars, tens of billions of dollars a year through State Department foreign aid, just to nonsense stuff all over the world, tens of thousands of crazy leftist orgs that, as Trump said in his order, are against our values. When you see them, basically banning any new regulations, for now until they get a handle on things, these are Doge-like things happening right now already. Right. So Doge is already in action with the executive orders. It will be in action with every agency of this government. And there's just so many of our smartest friends working on this, so many of the best lawyers and on the right. This is a really exciting time.
All right, Joe, I hope you won't be a stranger to us here. We'd love to have you back on a regular basis here on the Will Cain Show. Joe Lonsdale, thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.